can you please introduce yourself?
All right. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be on your platform.
Thank you.
My name is Sunny
Okay.
Enebi. I'm an executive coach. I'm also a leadership development facilitator.
Okay.
What I do is just help people to become the best versions of themselves.
Okay.
We help you provide clarity to whatever vision you have for yourself in life. So basically, we are just catalysts that make people achieve what they want to achieve. Okay.
Okay.
I hope you all can hear me clearly.
Okay.
If you can hear
So
us, just yeah, go ahead.
okay, so you don't have the magic wand as
No,
as an executive coach.
absolutely not. I plead the fifth.
Okay. So hi Mariah. So can everyone hear us? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Oh, Auntie, hi. Okay, please can
Hi.
everyone kindly, yeah, can everyone kindly mute their microphones so we don't have interferences from your backgrounds? Okay, so Sunny Enebi is an executive coach and an executive trainer and a trainer as well. So today we're talking about how to avoid New Year's resolution failures. So the coach would ask some, it's going to answer some questions. It's going to tell us about the importance of setting goals. And hi, Nix. And then after that, we're going to answer some questions. Okay. So now, love, you know that, yeah, I can't help myself now. A lot of times, right?
Yeah.
People plan stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
We plan goals, we plan things and everything like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
we find out that, after everything and all that, sometimes we fail and sometimes we don't make good with our plans. Why do you think that that happens?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I think you had a bit of an interview with me
Yeah.
where we spoke about why people fail to achieve their goal or why New Year resolutions often don't work.
Okay.
I want to start by saying that making a resolution in itself is a very good thing. I mean, so at the beginning of every year, you find a lot of people trying to take stock of how well things have gone in the year that went by,
Okay.
and they look forward to the new year with a lot of hope and expectation,
Okay.
which is absolutely not a bad thing because we have calendar years that end 31st of December. People are always expectant and grateful to get to the end of the year. So when you get there, you are grateful first of all for seeing the end of the year, and then you enter the new year with a new hope and expectation.
Okay.
Perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with it. So I want to first of all say that there's nothing wrong with having hope and expectation for a new year.
Okay.
But the caveat I want to ask is having expectations are not limited to New Year's.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of people think that, oh, I started something that I couldn't quite carry through, and so um, I have not made a success of it.
Okay.
I often say that whenever you wake up is your morning.
Okay.
So you could be motivated, you could read a book in March,
Okay.
and something gingers you inside that book, and you really want to start all over again. You
Okay.
could watch a movie and you see something in that movie, or you could just have a personal, introspection about what you want to do. So having a New Year resolution is not an issue at all. It's a perfectly good thing.
Let me open
But
it.
New Year is still the only time to start something new. All
Okay.
right? Okay.
Okay, so what are the tips? Because guys, so I did an article on my website, and my website is goshopforbaby.com. I know some of my friends are wondering why, if I'm pregnant, or my friends first saw the goshopforbaby.com, they thought I was pregnant. I'm not. I'm just leveraging on my experience of being a new mom to do that. So on the article, I did an article just last week, and we talked about the importance of, we talked about how to avoid, you know, um, New Year's resolution failures in 2021. So one of the things that you said was that a New Year's resolution is not a yearly thing. Is that?
It's not an event.
It's not an event. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, a new resolution is not an event.
Okay.
People often think that part of the things I have to do for the new year is to set goals or make a resolution. So for them, it has become like an annual ritual. So they
Okay.
have turned it into an event. So, when we had that interview, one of the things I said was that a new year resolution is not an event, but people should view it as a process. Okay,
Okay.
a process that they often, just a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so people should view it as a process that um, either starts in the new year or
Okay.
sometime in the future in the course of the year that has a specific time period. So one of the things I said is that making goals is not as easy as a lot of people think they are. So let me ask you a question. How many times do you think people attempt a goal before they get started?
I think it's most of the times where we process the goals in our minds first.
Okay.
You're like, okay, so I want to do this in next week. I want to do something next week. So we process the whole thing in our mind first.
Thank
And
you. I think you just answered the question. People process it. And let me tell you, most people keep that goal in the stage of processing and they never really get off. So the book I read said less than one.
less than one
Less
people.
than one. So almost never.
Can I give him
All
money
right.
when
Many people will give up even before they start. Okay.
Really?
Guys, can you please mute your
How your guy? A guy, wait. Oh, give me money before it's done.
mute? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
All right.
yeah.
So many people they give up even before the start.
Okay.
You know, the real grill is mastering others is a strength, but mastering yourself is the real power.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Self-discipline is the trait that makes the difference.
Okay.
It goes hand in hand with determination and resilience.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of people don't even set their goal properly.
Okay.
All right. Now, to have a proper goal and agenda, I mean, so let me just say this you must be clear on what you want to achieve.
Okay.
Be clear about what you want to do.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, look at it as a process, not an event.
Okay.
Number three, set smart goals.
Okay.
All right. I
Okay.
spoke about being smart, and a lot of corporate people on the platform probably know what smart is. Simply means be specific about what you want to achieve. All
Okay.
right. And let that have a measurable outcome such that when you achieve it, you know that you have gotten there. All right. All right. And
Okay.
then you must make it, it's something that is achievable,
Okay.
not out of your reach. Okay. You cannot say my goal, for instance, this year is to buy. I mean, for believers, it's okay, no problem. Maybe my goal is to buy a Phantom um,
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini or stuff, and then all you have in your account at the beginning of the year is maybe $1,000. God can do all things, but look at a goal that is really achievable and then make it realistic and then put a time frame to it. That way, you will know if you have gotten your goals.
Okay. So you're saying that number one, that a new one of the tips to in order to avoid one of the tips to avoid a new year resolution failure, right,
Mhm.
is number one to look at the new year's resolution as a process and
Not
not
an
an
event.
event.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Very good. That's one.
Hmm.
The second one is to set SMART goals.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we have meted everybody.
Yes, you have. We have.
Thanks,
Yes.
Nkechi.
Thanks, Nkechi. So when you set SMART goals, it means one, you have to be specific.
Correct.
So, for example, you could say, I want to buy a car, or I want to read 5 books.
So, for example, if you say I want to buy a car,
Okay.
what type of car? What model? What year?
Okay.
Sometimes you can even break it down to the exact color of car you want to buy.
Oh,
so
really?
you have to be that specific,
Okay.
such that when you see the car you want, you can identify it and then you go for that car. Because
Okay.
buying a car is not a goal,
Oh,
right?
really?
It's just, it's open and it's wide.
It's
What kind of
open-ended.
car? I mean, so a Honda is a car,
Okay.
a Mercedes is a car, a BM is a car.
Okay.
All right. So what kind of car? You must be specific.
So you're saying to me that if I want to buy, if one of my goals for the year is to buy a car,
Sure.
I have to be specific down to the color.
If you can, if you are that detailed,
Oh, really?
yeah, you can be that detailed. You can break it down to the level of, the model, the year. Okay, so some people color might not be an issue for them, but if color is an issue for you, for instance, when I wanted to buy a car once, and color was an issue for me. I mean, most of my cars are black.
Okay.
And the guy brought a red car for me. And red was simply not in my space. I mean, so most men would look at and say, how can, red is probably a feminine color. I mean, apologies to the women on the platform. There's nothing wrong with red. Okay.
Okay. So, guys, just quickly now, I have a question from someone, and she says, how long does it really take to get rid of a bad habit? Some say 2 weeks. Is it realistic?
No, ma. No, ma. Well, it depends on what bad habit you are looking at. So I don't really know what.
No, I mean by procrastination and like you want to watch TV instead and stuff like that.
No. So 2 weeks is not 2 weeks is not enough to get rid of it. If you read the book The Outliers,
Yeah.
they say for you to become proficient in anything,
Yeah.
if you've put in like um, 10,000 hours,
Yeah,
no?
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours, yeah. So you have to put in that length of time to become an expert in anything, all right? And usually, there are some books that say that if you want to get rid of any behavior, assuming you're smoking, and you say you stop smoking, all right? For us to know truly that you've stopped smoking,
Yeah.
all right, it must have taken about
3 weeks.
No, 3 weeks, no, not 3 weeks. 3 weeks, people can always go back.
Okay.
3 weeks, people can always go back.
Okay.
So, to be honest, it all depends on what you are trying to get rid of and how determined you are. Okay. But anything for me, I would say anything from like 3 months.
Okay.
Okay. From 3 months, then we can say, well, you have made an effort. And that behavior could be, if it's a behavior that you engage in on a daily basis, then 3 months. If it's a behavior that you engage in once in a while, then you probably need a longer time to tell whether you have really broken loose from it or not. So, for instance, somebody that does social drinking, you only go out and drink once in a while when you have an occasion, and you say, look, I don't want to do that again. Okay. And then you go for one social event and you don't drink and you think you have gotten over it. That is simply not enough yet. So you must go for several of those events to be able to show that you have broken that. So it all depends on what you want to get rid of and how often you engage in that behavior.
Okay.
That will determine the time span that it takes.
Okay, so Yetunde, you get it. It varies from people to people. So love, we're talking about setting SMART goals, and we talked about specific, and then we talked about measurable. Measurable. Like when we're talking about it, you said it's something that you can measure in percentage, which means, so how do you measure, if you want to buy a car, for example, how do you measure it in percentage? Could you?
So let me say this. Another thing about setting goals is that your long-term goal is made up of small bites, little steps that you take.
Okay.
All right. So if you set a goal to lose weight, say 10, you want to lose 5 kg, you cannot lose 5 kg in one day or in 1 week.
Okay.
Sometimes, okay. So you have to give small bites. So
Okay.
if you want to buy a car, you must know. There's another thing that we do in coaching that we talked about, the grow model. Grow means you have a goal, you look at where you are currently,
Okay.
and you look at what your options are,
Okay.
and then at the end you have the will to carry it out.
Okay.
Okay. So for instance, if you want to buy a car again,
Measurable.
okay,
Yeah.
when I say it must be measurable. So where are you today? You want to buy a car. What kind of car? You've identified it. I want to buy a Honda Accord 19 2018 model.
Okay.
Okay, a gray one. All right. And first you have set that clear goal. Now you
Okay.
have to know how much is that car. It's costing 5 million today. Okay, how much do I have?
Okay.
All right. So I have 1 million.
Okay.
So what's the gap? 4 million.
Okay.
So you look at
4
yourself.
million naira.
4 million in naira. Sorry.
Nigerian currency.
Okay, Nigerian currency. Most of us are Nigerians. Okay. So the gap is 4 million.
Okay.
So you have to make up 4 million. Now, realistically, what are you going to do on a month-on-month basis? How long will it take you to get 4 million? Looking at the job you are doing. Okay.
Or maybe your business.
So yeah,
Results
excluding
from-
windfall
Okay.
and anointing that the pastor may lay hands on you that the money may come. So you look at it realistically. Can you afford that car? Yes. If I put 1 million apart or 500,000 away every month, that will take me 8 months
Okay.
to get 4 million.
Okay.
So that means I'll be looking at the car maybe at the end of September or August or thereabout.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what we say when you want to make it measurable. So every month you keep 500,000 away. The month that you don't get up to 500,000, you're already falling behind on your goals.
Okay.
That means the dream of buying that car may not be achieved.
Yeah, but then you only didn't have 500. You could have like 3.
I'm just saying.
Well, okay. Okay, that means, but then you could shift sometimes. You could, like, what if you couldn't achieve that goal at that particular point in time? Can't you realign your goal?
Sure,
Okay.
sure. You can. There's nothing that says, but if your desire, so if you wanted to buy a car that was 5 million and you see that you are not able to achieve it, there probably could be cheaper cars. You
Okay.
can look at, say, okay, can I get a cheaper model of a car or a different kind of car entirely? Okay. Or, just work extra hard. Maybe you fall back in 1 month, in another month, you try to make it up. So a goal is not something static. Okay.
Okay.
It's a flexible, it's something that you can be flexible with the way you drive it and you pursue it.
Okay.
All right.
And then the next thing you said that the goal has to be achievable. That's the SMART. S, specific; M, measurable; A, achievable. Okay. Someone says, is a New Year resolution really realistic, and do people really achieve their New Year resolutions?
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, it's not all about New Year resolution, okay? It's about you deciding to make a shift.
To get rid of a bad habit. Some say 2 weeks. Resolution.
It's about you deciding to make a shift in your life. All right. So is it achievable? Yes. Why not? It is. And a resolution is a resolution. The fact that it is made at the beginning of the year does not make it any different from the one you make in March or in February or in June. It's in the individual. It's entirely up to you. Most of the things I've done in my life were not things that came out of a New Year resolution.
Okay.
Okay. So at the stage, okay, something could change in your life. A lot of people get married. Maybe you get married in April.
Okay.
And from the time you get married, you say, okay, from now, I'm not going to do 1, 2, 3 anymore. Why? Because my status has changed.
Okay.
That is not New Year. All right. It's simply you have gotten married and you're making a New Year resolution. So, like I said, people should not get stuck in this idea that I must start something new in the new year, at the beginning of the year. But if that's the time that you are able to start, fine, because a lot of people try to flow with with a bandwagon and try to see how they can do something from the beginning of the year because there's this new hope and new zeal and new strength and power. Perfect.
Okay.
But so New Year resolutions, are they achievable? Yes. But how many people really do achieve them? Because what happens is that you set New Year resolution and you start it because sometimes they are often not realistic. And we'll talk about the reasons why New Year resolutions fail, right? Because you often set them as an event, as a beginning of year event. You find out that you are not able to sustain the momentum to carry it through.
Okay.
Yes.
Because what I think is that at the beginning of the year, there's so much pomp and so much excitement.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you don't think through when making that commitment. So, what's the best way to avoid it? Could it be to like before the beginning of the year? Because I read somewhere one guy says that he starts planning his year, what he's going to do for the new year, a year before.
Yeah, I mean, so you can start your you can even start. A lot of people have still not even set their New Year resolution
Their resolutions for the new year.
their resolutions for the new year.
Okay.
Okay, so um, it's not something that ideally is done on the first day of January.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, it's not
Yeah.
something that ideally is done on the first day of January. No.
Okay.
Now, if you want to do it properly, okay, it takes a while and it takes careful thinking and preparation. You must know which areas of your life you want to impact. So
Okay.
people can compartmentalize their lives and
Okay.
say whether career, whether marriage, children, education, spiritual, financial goals, so you can have all kinds of goals. And, we used to do this, in our younger days when we first got married, so we have goals that are financial goals, we have career goals, we have goals for our children, and
And all the things.
other things that we want to achieve. So you can compartmentalize them and look at achievable things within the realm of reality. Sometimes people set high goals, and sometimes we're guilty of such that when we say the word average, it's not good enough. So people stretch themselves beyond their comfort zone, which is okay. There's nothing wrong. But sometimes when you set too high a goal, that and by the end of first quarter, let's say by the end of March, you are unable to achieve it. You are able to achieve even 5 or 10% of that, you become disillusioned. All right. And sometimes they say, think big of God is a big God, which is okay, no problem. A windfall can come. Okay. And that's what we say. That one is an extra. So if you are listening to me, set realistic goals. And by realistic goals, I simply mean that something that is within the realm of your power, is within you to be able to achieve. You can stretch it a bit. So, I mean, there's no point. You are earning 500,000 every month, and maybe you want to put away 100K. That's okay. That's realistic enough. I don't know what your standard of living is. You can live on 400K. All right. But if you say you want to put away 450K and live on 50K alone, meanwhile you have a house, maybe a 3-bedroom house or a duplex where you live in, you pay water, you pay for your light, you pay for security. 50K, is it realistic to live your life within that realm? Probably not. Okay, so when we say you must have a realistic goal, and then the goal must be time bound so that when you get there, a goal that is open-ended. Okay, whenever it happens, it happens. It's not, it's not smart. So that's why we say a goal must be smart. Your goal must be smart. Don't leave it open-ended.
Okay. And then when you talk about time bound,
Mm.
time bound, what does that mean?
Time bound means that it can't be open-ended. You have to put a period to it.
Okay.
Okay, so you say by X time, I want to achieve this. So if you want to lose weight, for example, I want to lose 5 kg by end of March.
Okay.
All right. I want to lose 5 kg. So
Okay.
you look at your weight and say, what am I now? I'm weighing 79 kg now.
Okay.
All right. By end of March, I want to drop to 74.
Okay.
Okay. So you can measure it on a week by week basis. So every week you can weigh yourself. You have lost half a kilo, you have lost 1 kilo. By end of month 1, okay, maybe you're giving yourself 3 months, you want to lose 5 kg. By end of month 1, at least you should have lost 1.5 kg.
Okay.
Okay, so that by end of month 2, you have lost 3, and then by end of month 4, you'll have lost 4.5 or 5.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me a question on my website, and the person said, how can you become consistent in, because sometimes, like, we all have that problem. I also have that problem. Sometimes, like you're on all 4 cylinders and you're like going, I must do this, I must do that. So you start today, you start tomorrow, and then by next week or the next 3 weeks, you're like, oh my God, and then life sets in.
Okay.
So how do we remain consistent?
All right. Like I said, mastering others is a strength, but mastering yourself is the real power that we need. What you need is determination and resilience.
Determination and resilience.
Determination and resilience. Like I said,
okay.
Mastering others is a strength.
Okay.
But mastering yourself is the real power.
Sure. We have, let's see, questions. Yeah.
Determination and resilience.
Okay. They say you need to be more audible. Okay. All right. All right. So, Pastor, you need to be more audible.
That's me.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Great. Can you hear me better now? Okay, no problem.
Okay, so you need to be more audible.
All right, sorry about that if you are hearing me. So he said, how can we be consistent? So what I said is that determination and resilience.
Great. Can you hear me better now?
Self-discipline is the key. A lot of people are not that disciplined to be able to carry on their resolution in a consistent manner. Okay, so what you really need is, can you discipline yourself to adhere to the things that you have said you want to do? Most people are not able to do that. And now that is a real success between people that succeed and people that do not succeed in life. Self-discipline. Successful people are willing to do things that they don't necessarily want to do in order to get the result they want. I'll say that again. Successful people are willing to do the things they don't necessarily want to do in order to get the result they want. In other words, the goal is bigger than their self-indulgence.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Successful people are willing to do
Okay.
things
So
they don't necessarily
They
okay.
tend to put the needs of the goal ahead of instant gratification.
Okay.
So people that want to lose weight, for example, just for example, and you say to yourself, you don't want to eat cake again, of course, you know that the moment you make that decision, you don't want to eat cake, everybody will be inviting you for birthdays and bringing cakes and all of that. Now, if you make one, after that you can go out and work. If you make one exception, you will make 2, you will make 3, and before you know it, you are off course.
Okay.
So if you know you do not, and let me say this again, if you know you don't have that self-discipline in yourself, part of what we say is identify those who can help you. Have a support network.
There's an echo. But then if the volume doesn't come out, one can hear them.
No, this is Facebook.
Yeah, but Facebook also needs to hear it as well.
No, we mute it for ourselves, but they can hear us on Facebook, right?
Okay.
All right, great. So I was saying that you must have a support network of people that can help you achieve your goal. So people that you think are within your support network could be your wife, could be your husband, could be your child, okay, it could be a friend, it could be a colleague at work, okay, somebody that you say, this is the goal that I have set for myself. I want you to hold me accountable. So we call them accountability
Accountability
partners.
partners.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we call them accountability partners. All right. So for instance, if you say you want to wake up and pray every day at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. So you can have an accountability partner and say, I beg, call me up at 6 a.m. or at 5 to 6. Okay. Just to help me get on the flow. All right. So somebody that will hold you accountable. Now, if you do not think that there's anybody within your network that can help you do this, we also have professionals. And that's what we sometimes do as coaches. What we help people do as coaches is just to help you move from where you are to where you need to be. And we push you to achieve the goal that you have set for yourself because you are the expert and you're the one that knows what you want to do. So, in essence, achieving your goal requires a lot of support.
Okay.
Okay, requires a lot of support. You cannot do it by yourself. So people around you can aid you, or you can get a professional to help you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this one question, this is basically about how I felt after we lost our son Frank,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So after we lost our son Frank, life didn't have any meaning to me
Mm.
because this was a young man that had plans for himself. Just one day, everything was okay. We had our plans for the year, our plans, and of course, we prayed and everything.
Yeah.
And then by July, he was having pains, and by the time we checked, he had cancer, you know. And then we're like, okay, he's going to be fine. So we had all the professional helps that we could get,
Yeah.
and we traveled to treat him.
Yeah.
And then we were very optimistic. And then he was well. The following year, he was well. And then, he was improving and all of that. And then he also had plans on what he wanted to do, the school he wanted to go to. And then he died. Okay. And so when Frank died, it changed a lot of things in me. So I was like, why plan anyway when we don't know what holds in the bend?
Yeah. I mean, so it's a very emotional one, but it's okay. I mean, so we lost a son. We had plans, just like everybody have plans for life. Sometimes life deals you a card that you are not expecting.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes things happen, in a way that we never expected. We all had big plans for 2020, but come March of 2020, coronavirus broke, and people were locked down. People lost their businesses. Um, we all had plans for our life. In Nigeria, we had the NSAS protest. We are all talking about it as normal protest, and everything was going normally for people until the looting started. People lost businesses. So, things will happen in life, but that will not stop us from making plans. But in our plans, flexibility sometimes to adjust, even if there are no external factors. Sometimes internal factors will make you to readjust and reassess the plans you have made. So, for instance, you wanted to buy a car and you are saving up for your car, which is 5 million. Thank God for you. Every month you are putting away the sum needed. And then come sometime into your plan going, somebody becomes ill, which you didn't plan for. Are you going to say, no, this is money, I'm keeping this money for the car, and it's only going to be for the car when there's a pressing need for health? Okay, so you have to readjust. That car will probably have to wait, and you have to deal with the health issue. All right, because once there's health, there's life and there's continuity. opportunity to buy more car. So in life, sometimes you may get stuck, you make plans, you wanted to do stuff, and you are not able to do it. But
Yeah, I think it's the Facebook. Yeah, in
just
Kechi.
mute it.
Okay, maybe we'll just mute the Facebook.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Are they going to hear us if you mute it?
Yes,
They will?
we'll just find out from those on Facebook. Let them
Okay.
put their.
No, that's not it.
Um,
Just, no. Okay, so guys, sorry. I just want to know, Facebook guys, can you hear us? Because we've just muted the microphone. There's a little bit of an echo. If you can hear us, just the problem is from. Okay.
what do you say?
Okay, so can you hear us now? So the problem is from Facebook. Oh yes, so they can. So we have muted this. Okay, they can hear us. So let's go back to yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So Innate, so now, how do we make goals realistic? Okay, so so you talked about having a long-term goal.
Yeah.
So we talked about having a long-term goal, which you said is what we call the strategic goal.
Okay.
So for example, now your long-term goal could be, maybe you want to build a house, a little, or you want to buy a car,
Yeah.
or maybe you want, your children are going to school, so you're saving for your children's
Go to school
go
abroad.
abroad, and that kind of like takes time. So sometimes your long-term goal could be for 1 year or 6 months, could be for 2 years or 3 years or 10 years down the line.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, so that is the goal, and that is the vision of where you want to go.
Yeah.
Now, how do we make that goal doable?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's simple. So guys, I like to be very realistic with this. So I'm not talking things that haven't been tried before, things that people have not done before. All right. So usually you have a long-term goal. Okay. But it's the little steps that you take on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis that leads to that long-term goal. So what you do every day, what you do every week, what you do every month will aid that long-term goal. And that is where the self-discipline comes in. Long-term will not happen overnight. Long-term happening by one day at a time.
Yeah.
You sleep and wake up, sleep and wake up, sleep and wake up, 1 week is gone. You sleep and wake up, 1 month is gone. You sleep and wake up is 2 months. So before you know it, that your long term that you are looking at as so long of 1 year has arrived.
Yeah.
But if you are not taking the daily steps, the weekly steps, so you must break your long-term goals into
monthly,
actionable, weekly or daily actions that you need to take. So what do I need to do today that will aid my goal that I have set for myself? What do I need to do today, tomorrow, every day? So listen to me very well. I mean, so long term will not just come out of space.
Okay.
Long term is the daily activity that you do that accumulates into long term.
Okay, this is the way I understand it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So assuming like I want to read 24 books in a year.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
24 books in a year, right?
Sure.
So my long-term goal would be to read 24 books
in a year,
which is my strategic goal, right?
Sure.
So in order for me to be able to, because I just can't wake up one morning and have 24 books read.
Sure.
Okay, so in order for me to read 24 books in a year, I would have to read 2 books in a month. So the long-term goal I have divided into monthly goals.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So now, and I say, okay, fine. So I have that. In order for me to achieve that 24 books, I have to read 2 books a month. And then I now put it down to weekly. Okay. So what do I do? In order for me to be able to read 2 books in a month, I have to read those 2 books fortnightly. So I read 1 book in 2 weeks. Okay. So then the monthly goal is now broken down into a weekly goal.
Yeah, sure.
So again, I can't read one book in 2 weeks without taking actionable plans every day.
Sure.
So that's just what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect.
So
Perfect.
it's taking a long goal and then chopping it down into achievable, actionable plans for a month,
Yeah.
monthly, weekly, and daily. Right?
Excellent.
Good, sir.
So I mean, if you're on the platform, it's not bad to set goals. And if you haven't set goals already, I think you should be thinking about it. Everybody should have a goal in life. Set SMART goals, like we say, and there's nothing that you cannot achieve. All right, if you put your mind to it. So, what I would say, and like IB just described, is goals must be broken down into actionable bites.
Okay.
All right, into actionable units. All right. So, what am I doing today to advance my goal, my purpose in life?
Okay.
What am I doing this week that is feeding into my longer term strategic goal? All right. If you review your actions and activities at the end of a week and you see that you haven't done anything, so it's just like you want to start a business. Every day you sit down and you note down something. How you have read something about that business, find out who are the leaders in that line, find out what they are doing, find out where they are located, where they are buying from. Every day you are doing some research, and every day it is bringing you closer to your goal because you are taking action on a daily basis. Okay. So at the end of the day, when they see your success, it's not an accident or
It's
a
not
fluke.
overnight.
It's not overnight. It's something that you were doing over time and you got to where you wanted to be.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. So, can you summarize briefly
Mhm.
the like give us like 5 tips on how to avoid New Year resolution failures in 2021? Five
Okay.
tips, or even have more.
Okay. First of all, is do not, number one, don't see the New Year resolution as an event,
A New Year.
a New Year resolution as an event that you must engage in. All right, because it's a trap that makes people, you know, derail in the course of the year. So don't think it's an event that you must engage in because everybody is doing it, or because most motivational speakers and people that speak are talking about people doing this and achieving that and achieving that. It's a good time to start, no doubt, for those that are not self-driven to start, but don't fall into that trap. Number one, that's number one. Number two, if you must have a goal, make sure that your goal is clearly defined. In other words, let it be smart. Know exactly what you want to achieve. Okay? Make sure your goal is clearly defined. All right? And set it within the realm of reality. Okay? I'm telling you how to avoid failures now, right? So, number one, don't get into the trap of joining the bandwagon of thinking that this yearly event is something that will just bring success in itself. Number two, if you must engage in it, make sure that it's very clear what you want to achieve. And if you cannot help yourself, come to expert. Let people help you define it, break it down so that when you get there, you know. A lot of the reasons why people fail to achieve their goal is that the goal is vague. It's not specific enough. It's not measurable. And most times it's not achievable, not realistic, and they don't put a time bound to it. So make sure that it's clear and it's smart. Okay? Number three is what?
Number 3, um, when you have a long-term goal, make sure that it's you cut it down to actionable bites. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Make sure that you cut it down to something that is actionable that you can achieve. Okay, and these are ways to avoid falling into a trap and losing focus. Number four, which is the final thing I would say.
No, we had five.
Okay, you want five.
Yes.
Okay, no. Okay, number four. and I will give you 5. Number 4 is get an accountability partner. I strongly recommend it. Most people are not that self-driven, but if you're self-driven, excellent, no problem. Get an accountability partner or get a coach if you can afford to, okay? That will help you and hold you accountable to the things that you say you want to do, all right? They will just help you put you on course, all right? So that you don't derail on that. The final thing is be kind to yourself. Some people are too hard on themselves when they set goal, and they think it's you made the goal, okay, and the goal is for your achievement, okay. You can always realign, okay. You can always readjust, okay. It's a goal that you created. We do it all the time in corporate world. That's why, though we have a yearly plan, every month we review how far we have gone. If after 3 months we see that the yearly plan is not going to be achievable, we recut the budget, okay? And we have both realistic budget and we have the actual budget. So these are, you made the goals. Don't think that because you have said, I will do this, then you must end there, okay? So be kind to yourself. Don't think that, have I given you 5?
There's one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, to every plan you add a prayer.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. I mean, so to every plan, I said to her the other time, I say, add a prayer. It's you that have proposed, but it's only by the grace of God that most of these things can come to pass. There was Corona last year, a lot of businesses were locked down, but a lot more businesses came up. People made money like they've never made last year. I mean, the owner of this platform we are using, we don't know who he is, Zoom. Before March last year, how many of you knew of Zoom? But Zoom is so popular all over the world now, and so many other online businesses and things came up, okay? So to every plan, just add a prayer that God will guide these plans that you have made, okay? And definitely that will help you to succeed.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much, Mr. Enebi. So guys, I want to take your contributions and questions. So Messi, hi. Messi says, in addition, when the goals are too many, failure sets in from day one.
Thank you.
So brief goals are usually achievable. And she says, thank you for this gathering. It's well worth it. Thank you. So guys, your contributions, your insights. Hi, Okutwate, hi. Contributions, insights. Let's check what they have for us on Facebook. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so IB Organ says, please give us an example of a clear goal so we know what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
So
clear goal like?
A clear goal like having a financial, okay, so you want to do savings, you want to invest. Say by the end of the year, I want to have an investment of, say, £5,000, okay? 5,000. Now, there are several ways you can get there.
Okay.
What are you earning currently? All right. What more can you do to earn resources? £5,000 is your target. And you want to say, by end of October, I want to get to £5,000 for this year alone, not counting what you've done. So you look at, what am I earning? What can I afford to put away? If I invest it in X, Y, Z, how much can it earn me? Okay. So that's an example of a financial goal. All right. So you have clearly what the goal you are driving is. Maybe you are starting from 0. So you are starting from 0 to 5,000. Okay. If you divide 5,000 into 10 months by the end of October, how much will you need to keep away every month to get there? It's a goal. £500 every month is a goal that you can drive. Okay. So you have to look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. And you could have other goals, maybe losing weight, maybe reading the scripture or reading a book. I want to read 10 books in a week. I want to read 10 books in a year. How many books do I need to read every month? Okay. Which are the books I want to read? You identify the books you want to read and you can get there.
Okay. So Florence says, I learned today that I have to set clear and achievable goals. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Leonella. So What else? Ivy said something. Ivy, you said something. I don't know. I can't find it. Let me see what we have here on any more questions. So guys, any more questions or contributions? Questions and contributions.
Great.
Hi, good evening.
Let me just say.
My name is Abilo.
Oh.
I just wanted to say I appreciate the session, and one thing that stands out, a running thread, is just that people say you need to write your goals and set them into timelines. So they all can be lying, and there's just so much, because we plan in our heads. I know I do that a lot. I'm not used to just writing it all down, but I think if you prioritize, it's a step closer towards achieving. So thank you so much for reiterating some things we already know. It's always good.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Fine. I mean, I should have mentioned that, but thanks for raising that. All right. So a goal must be written. Well,
you raised it. You said it.
My assumption was,
you said it. You said it. I'm just affirming that you said it. You did.
Yeah, I know. Let me just buttress it. Thank you very much. A goal must be written. If it's not written, then it's not a goal. All right. You can't say you have it in your head. You must have it written down. And sometimes, let me say this, you can have things to depict it. Maybe you have pictures, you have quotes or things that can help you look at that goal that you want to achieve, and it will help you stay online and in focus with what you want to achieve. So you can have pictures, quotes of things that you really want to achieve. Yeah.
Okay. So you can, I see that you do that on the wardrobe.
Yeah, I do that on the wardrobe.
Oh, yeah.
I paste something, I get a quote, just put it on your wardrobe or on your kitchen door or your bathroom door or somewhere like that, so that when you get there, you will know it. It helps me a lot. I have things pasted around my house, on my wardrobe, on my door, my bathroom door, especially those two places, because those are the two places I visit. But those I visit the kitchen, they can put a few things there too,
Okay. So
yeah.
One message. So I have a message. Okay, very good. So guys, we want to say, let me see if we have any thing on Facebook. So hi Omosi, how are you? So someone says here, procrastination and self-sabotage is a big blocker.
Yes.
How do we overcome that?
Well, like I said, simple. Get an accountability partner. All right. Self-sabotage is the biggest thing. People have these limiting beliefs. They have fears, they have doubts. And let me say, the iceberg principle that talks about 80 under, 20 on top. So most of the work people see, the success people see on top is only 20% of the work that has gone down. 80% of the work has gone down before people can see that work. All right. So avoid procrastination, get people to help you. Self-limiting belief, self-sabotage were our biggest enemy. And like I said, mastering others is a strength, but mastering yourself is the real power. People procrastinate a lot. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it today. I didn't even want to talk about procrastination because a lot of us fall into that bracket. So many of us know that we should write goals or we should have goals for the year. As I speak now, I'm sure many of us have not yet done it. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it next week. Okay. And then you then scribble certain things. And then you are not very specific about the thing. My advice is take 2 hours, 3 hours, go somewhere quiet, or you could wake up early in the morning before any noise or disturbance. Think through carefully. Write the specific goal and how you want to achieve them. Write the goal and how you want to achieve them.
Oh, okay.
So it's not enough to say, my goal is to buy a car. How do you want to achieve that? So think through the process.
Okay, I get it.
A lot of us want to make money, but we don't take time to think about how we want to make the money.
Okay, you're saying to me, write the goal.
Yes.
So for example, I want to read 20 books this year.
Yes.
And then how to achieve it.
Exactly.
So which means that the power or the solution or the roadmap to achieving the goal sometimes is in our minds.
Absolutely. It's absolutely within you. You must state it down so that when you are doing it, you will know that you are doing something towards achieving your goal. Okay. So if you want to read a book a month, I say to people, what time of the day is your best time for reading?
Okay.
Is it in the morning? Is it in the evenings? Is it at lunchtime?
Okay.
Okay. So you must be deliberate about the time that you want to devote to reading that book. Otherwise, you say, okay, I'll just read a book. What times are your best times? So dedicate that time to do the things that you want to do, is because it's part of your goal you want to achieve. Okay. So I say, write a goal and write how you want to achieve it. IB.
Okay.
Ibinabo.
Okay. So, and then get accountability partners.
Sure.
So, yeah. And then Yvonne says, daily actionable tasks is very useful to achieve your goals. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Yvonne. And let's see on the Zoom. Yeah.
Okay.
Zoom.
No.
So, yeah, this Zoom. Yeah.
No, but I want to ask a question.
So guys, okay. Okay. No, we can see. Hi, Auntie.
Hello.
Okay, this is again.
No. It's me.
Yeah,
hello?
we can hear you.
Can you hear me? I wanted to ask a question, but so unfortunately you can't see me. I wanted to ask a question. I want to ask a question. Is that okay?
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask if, say, like we're talking about the goals, and like, say, for example, I want to buy a car. And I know that I cannot discipline myself into saving that money to buy a car. Of course, when I say I want to buy a car, it means that I have a car in mind that I want to buy. So if I cannot, if my savings cannot buy that car, is it a good idea for me to get a bank loan for which I'll be forced to be paying back the money maybe within a time frame, so that will make me to save compulsorily? Because sometimes you say, yes, I want to do something, and then something else takes your money. You cannot put that money aside. But if you have that commitment that this my bank, I have to pay so much money per month, whether come rain or shine, then I think one will be compelled, as soon as your money comes, they take it from source, so that you know that money is gone. You may pay interest, yes, but at least I also think that is also another way of helping one to achieve her goal, so that you can, that by so time, so if I take this loan within 10 months, if I can save so much, I'll be able to get there. Is that a good idea, to take a loan, or to say I have to save to achieve this? Is it possible?
Actually, very, very possible. Ms. Organ, thank you very much for that question and contribution. It's a fantastic way. It's a very, very fantastic way to achieve your goal if you know you have a steady source of income. All right. So if you can't discipline yourself, you take a loan, you do something big, and then you are paying back gradually. What we say is, don't take a loan for consumption. No. If you take a loan for investment purpose, to buy an asset, to do something, and then you are paying back with little interest, that's absolutely good. Most of the big things I've done in life, when I was working, was finance through loan. All right. And in the early days, I think the only car I ever drove that was a Tokumbo was my first car. I was one of the first people that got a loan from Chartered Bank then. When we first started work, most of my colleagues were buying Tokumbo. I went and took a loan from Chartered Bank then and bought a brand new car. And I was servicing that loan while all my friends were visiting mechanics every Saturday to fix their car for one problem or the other. My car was busy coasting for 2 complete years. I didn't know where a mechanic was, but I was paying the loan, and it was good for me. When I took it, it looked painful, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that loan that After that, I took another one to get another new car. Okay, so until they started giving me car where I was working. All right, so absolutely, it's a good thing if you have a steady source of income. Okay, you can take a loan. Another way is to belong to a group where they make contribution or something, and everybody take turn to take that money, but have something in mind that you want to do with the money.
Correct.
But I want to ask this question, okay? And I understand where you're coming from, but you know, some pastors like you, sorry, always say a child of God should not borrow money or stuff like that. So how do we? Is it really bad to take loans?
Well, to be honest, loan is a leverage. Okay, what's a leverage? A leverage is something that can lift you up beyond where you cannot get to ordinarily by yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So loan is a leverage, and there's nothing bad with loan. I don't think the Bible condemned loan. Because even Jesus, when he gave his money to the guys with the talent, he says, "You should have put my money in the bank, and so that when I come back, I will have earned it with some interest." Okay. Now, if you put money in the bank, it supposes that the money is being used for something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mrs. Organ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me see.
Thank you.
Okay. So guys, yeah. Okay. Somebody said something. So Pete says, I just think it is also okay to write down the worst that can happen if you don't work on those goals. Looking at that will help me as a person on the goal, because sometimes we write these things down and some people don't even remember not to talk about doing it. What do you think about this method?
Yeah, fine. So what she's saying is,
write it down.
What is the alternative of not doing this? Right? What is the alternative if I don't buy the car, if I don't read the book, if I don't lose the weight, what could possibly happen to me? So you look at the risk of not doing or achieving your goal. What's the flip side?
Yeah.
I don't get recognition, I don't get the promotion, I don't move ahead in the way I want to move. Perfect, there's nothing wrong with that. It's equally good. But in order to help you more than anything else, we call it positive affirmation. You need accountability partners, people that can on track and can push you towards the achievement of your goal. That is what you need, more than writing down the dangers. But that is also okay. It's another way.
Very good. And Onella says, it's very important to be surrounded by people having the same mindset as you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yes.
Onella says, like, it's very good to have people with positive mindset.
Yeah.
And Folashade asked the question, is it advisable to enter your BVN and employment details on some stock app like Trove? Write your BVN and employment details on an app.
Why do they want it? What are they requesting it for? Folashade, maybe you contact me privately, or you'll take this offline, but
I don't think it's your BVN is a lifelike. Nigerian BVN, so you don't. I think you don't put your personal information on. Now, so one more. Okay. One more. Okay, so
I think I should have a loan. All right.
God says, okay. So guys, we want to say that's all. We want to say thank you very much, everyone, for joining our EB Live. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. And thank you for all the comments. Thank you very, very much. And we hope that we're not only going to, we're going to put into practice all that we've learned. And I wish us more success in the coming years. And in the meantime, stay safe, wash your hands, wear your face masks, and use your hand sanitizers. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for everyone being here. Do what you plan to do this year. Remain focused, be resilient, be consistent, develop habits and patterns that are champion driven. So you will win at the end of this year. Thank you very much for coming on the platform, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And don't forget to pray. To every little plan, have a prayer.
Sure.
And then take action towards your goal.
Sure.
Quickly, there's something that I read from that Denzel Washington said. He said this, okay, and I thought it resonated so much with me. He said, true desire in your heart for anything is God's proof to you, sent to you beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. So anything you want, God has already, so anything you want from God, claim it and work hard towards it. And it says, when you get there, reach back and pull someone up. And it says, each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. So when you get to your destination, it says, go back and pull somebody up. And each one, teach one, and don't just aspire to make a living.
Aspire to make a difference. And make an impact.
Sure. So guys,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless
and
you.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. So bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we thank Messi, Mrs. Ogan, Inkechi, Abilo, Songo, Marian, Morayo. There's quite a lot. And there's so much. Yvonne on Facebook, Onella, IJ, Pastor Godson, Inkechi Okoro and Charles Okoro. Let me see. That was Bala as well. A few more people, a few of them have left. Nike, Kaka, Felicia. Thank you so much. And and then let me see the Facebook. There's quite a few. Oh yeah, so Toye, Ashley, thank you. Anthony Akarolo, thank you. Sotoye, Ashley Fitzgerald, thank you so much. And thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you. There's a question. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining. And a happy new year to you all. So my name is Ibi, and I have a special guest here today, and he is Sunny Enebi. And today we're going to be talking about how to avoid New Year's resolution failures in 2021. And my special guest is Sunny Enebi. Sunny